If you smell what the Rock is cooking. The Rock says, the Rock says. The Rock says, the Rock. They talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying, I taste blood that's trying, I feel tension rising. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me.
Hello and welcome to the NXT Wrestling Talk Show with Chris Jones and
Randy Smith as we bring you our reactions to Nxt Takeover in your house in front of 300 people at the Capital Wrestling Centre. Yes, you heard us right. 300 people.
yes, as NXT once again takes over people's houses, the Capital Wrestling Centre was expanded further than it had been for Takeover Stand and Deliver, and restrictions of face masks and negative COVID tests were removed, unless of course you tested positive, then you were required or asked to stay home for 2 weeks.
We're going to move over to our first match on this action-packed card.
But technically there was a match before the first match,
which was a dark match. We're not going to talk about it too much, but we're just going to say that Zoe Stark and Saray beat the Robert Stone brand of Aaliyah and Jessie Cameron.
yes, but the first match was the winner takes all match.
For both the NXT North American and Tag Team Championships.
As the NXT North American Champion, the Colossal Bronson Reed, teamed up with the NXT Tag Team Champions, MSK, to take on the trio
of Legado del Fantasma of Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza.
The Tag Team Championships of MSK and the duo of Legado del Fantasma have been going back and forth pretty much since the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Yes.
Santos Escobar, however, turned his attention to the North American Championship following the loss of the Cruiserweight Championship to Kushida.
Yes.
And this was decided after Phantasma failed to capture the Tag Team Championships after Bronson Reed, let's just say, ran through Escobar.
Through the barricade. So that's a barricade. moment.
We're not playing a video game. We don't have oh my god moments in real life.
As we were saying,
So this match gets underway, and what do we say about this?
chaos, chaos, chaos.
Oh yes, because most matches are.
And to be honest, that's NXT as of late.
We'll get more into that as we get on to this. We have they were performing dives in and out of a ring. Wild and Mendoza hit a high-low. Then I think Escobar not really wanted nothing to do with Bronson Reed
No.
until he had been slightly weakened at the leg. However, really the deciding factor of this was once again the splash from Bronson Reed onto Santos Escobar, this time through the barricade,
Great from it.
which would then allow Bronson Reed to perform the colossal splash and pick up the 3 count, allowing MSK to retain the Tag Team Championships and Bronson Reed to retain the North American Championship. However, whilst it might be a safe bet that at least for the time being, the God of Death and Phantasma may leave MSK alone, Santos Escobar appears to be far from done with Bronson Reed.
Definitely so, because he wants another opportunity at the North American title.
Whether they delay that till the next takeover, scheduled to take place the night after SummerSlam, or they do that at the Great American Bash special coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
We will wait and see.
Now we move on to our next match with a bit of intrigue and a bit of a bribery that was taken back to the Mae Young Classic, as Xia Li takes on Mercedes Martinez.
Yes, and Xia Li has gone under some kind of weird transformation over the past.
Year and a half.
Yes, and this match kind of predictable the way the story was going.
And also the regarding Mercedes Martinez's future in NXT.
Well, she's probably going to hang around in NXT for maybe for a bit longer.
Yes, we'll get on to that at another point.
But after a 7-minute 40-second match, the shortest match on the card, it was Zili who picked up the victory.
It was a surprising one, that one, to be honest. But however, that was not done after the match. Boa decided to get Xia Li a steel chair. Xia Li attempted to hit Mercedes Martinez with a steel chair, only to backfire.
Of course.
Mercedes Martinez gets the steel chair and hits Boa and Xia Li with it. This figure being near by Vince stands up and takes out Mercedes Martinez with ease.
The third match on the card centered all around the premise that everybody's got a price.
for the $1 million championship.
As Cameron Grimes appears to have become rich with a investment into GameStop
Yes.
and started a feud with the true $1 million man Ted DiBiase. Then Eli Drake, I mean LA Knight,
Yes, and don't forget these two athletes in Grimes and LA Knight have been in the same cookie together.
decided to get involved and align himself with Ted DiBiase. Not that it lasted, but we'll get to that in a moment. And Ted DiBiase decided to bring back the $1 million championship. Now,
A championship that we've not seen since.
like at least 10 years. Now, whilst the $1 million championship is a unsanctioned championship, basically meaning it's not officially recognized by the company, it still is defended in championship matches and probably will be for periods of time in NXT.
Now, the ladder match itself was what you would normally expect from a ladder match.
Yes. Ladders. Cameron Grimes had this match won, but then decided to go for the gold ladder.
Yes, which was by the stage.
Then we had Knight was able to knock him off of a ladder before getting the championship. Again, after back and forth action, they climb the ladder. Grimes is close to getting the championship, but in a typical spot in a ladder match, LA Knight decides to topple over the ladder, sending Cameron Grimes through another ladder. How many times have we seen that?
Yeah, we've seen that quite a lot of times.
Allowing LA Knight to climb the ladder and achieve the briefcase, which had the championship inside, and is now the $1 million champion. During the $1 million championship coronation celebration on NXT on Tuesday night, LA Knight would say, "Now that I've got what I want, I can get rid of what I don't need," and would proceed to punch Ted DiBiase.
Effectively breaking up the team between Ted DiBiase and LA Knight.
And before any too much damage could be done, Cameron Grimes would come down and fight off LA Knight, and this seems to be far from over. And if I was to put my money on it, which I won't, I would hazard a guess that this will end with Grimes eventually winning the $1 million championship.
Yeah.
Now, so we go to some women's action. Well, actually, before that,
Yes,
we need to jump to something which happened before we jump back to something that happened before the ladder match. Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly are two of the participants who were scheduled to compete in the NXT Championship match.
Got in a little bit of a confrontation.
Yes, got into a big brawl backstage,
which required lots of referees and backstage personnel
including general manager William Regal.
to break them all up.
and that would eventually lead to something else that we'll get on to in a moment. But let's see what happened here.
Yes.
Now, we all know that Miguel Gonzalez and the Moon and Shotzi Blackheart as a foursome have been going at it since the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Again,
Yeah.
in fact, it was Miguel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai who defeated Moon and Blackheart to win the Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic and a shot at the Women's Tag Team Championships before the NXT job.
And then inventing the NXT Women's Tag Team titles, which they were awarded, only to lose them on the same night to Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
They would go their separate ways for a while, whilst Miguel Gonzalez focused on winning the NXT Women's Championship.
Which Raquel Gonzalez did.
But now, they come back together as Ember Moon was the challenger for the NXT Women's Championship.
And during this match, there was a little bit of an interference from Dakota Kai.
I'm just surprised because...
I'm not surprised. Only to prompt out a return of Shotzi Blackheart.
Yes, Shotzi Blackheart had been sidelined for a while on having been a nagging injury. But as the match went on, Moon managed to escape an early attempt of the one-arm powerbomb.
Yeah.
And doing a diving cutter into and then hit the Stone Cold Stunner, aka Eclipse.
Yeah, onto Raquel.
Then they would have yet another a proper Eclipse hit, but then Dakota Kai would get involved by putting Gonzalez's foot on the bottom rope.
Yeah.
Which at this point allowed Blackheart to get involved. So Takai and Blackheart brawl backstage, whilst Gonzalez is able to hit Ember Moon with the one-arm powerbomb to retain the NXT Women's Championship. Now, as the entrances were being made for the main event, again, Kai and Blackheart can be seen brawling backstage. And just like the situation with Gargano and O'Reilly, they need to be separated.
Pretty much.
So that brings us to the main event.
Oh, the evening.
A fatal five-way for the NXT Championship. When after Adam Cole decided to get involved in a triple threat match between Pete Dunne, Kyle O'Reilly and Johnny Gargano, Mr. Cocky Champion, Karrion Kross,
Yes.
basically demanded to have all four of them in a fatal five-way match.
Now this match was unbelievably good and chaos all over the place.
Yes, we go. Match begins. the action quickly goes to the stage, and even through the in your house sports set, which removed Cross from the match momentarily. So then we would have the rivals of Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole briefly join forces to powerbomb Cross through an announce table, which did not break, by the way. Sometimes sometimes I think that's worse.
Yes, and also Botchamania, question mark.
And each man would hit their finisher at least once in this match, with Dan hitting the bitter end on Cross for a near fall. Gargano, the one final beat onto Dunn for a near fall. Cole with a Pan City Sunrise on Gargano, which was broken up by Dunn. There was some point, I believe it was Pete Dunne, Adam Cole, and Johnny Gargano in the ring. O'Reilly it might have been O'Reilly, but it was like a flip on the top rope into a double super kick. But really, the end of this match came down to what I would call personal rivalries getting in the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly would have the heel lock onto Adam Cole because their feud is far from over. Just as Cole was about to tap out, Cross comes in and locks in Cross Jack, aka a sleeper hold, onto Kyle O'Reilly. But despite this, O'Reilly would not relinquish his hold on Gaga on Cole, so they could have possibly done something interesting here and had a double submission, which would have then led to another match between like Kyle and Cross. But due to the fact that O'Reilly did not relinquish his hold on Adam Cole, it kind of cost everyone the match. Because O'Reilly would eventually pass out from Cross's hold, allowing Karrion Kross to win the match Roman Reigns style by technical submission.
Yes. In order for Karrion Kross to retain his NXT Championship.
Yes.
In what was not just a match, but a war.
Yes. And as the show was going off the air, a general manager William Regal is approached for an interview regarding how the show went, and let's just say the incidences we mentioned.
Both during the show and in recent months.
And,
he said,
and William Regal, almost with a tear in his eyes, he's grown tired, said that in order to keep NXT going, it was time for a change.
So we move forward to this NXT.
Yes, so William Regal comes out, starts talking about the 7 years that he's been,
Been in charge of NXT.
yes, with a lot of emotion.
When he gets interrupted by the NXT champion Karrion Kross.
Who basically goes on to say that he told Regal and he knows that Regal has lost control of the NXT roster and that he wants Regal to say and admit that he was right, and Cross conquers all. And just as he's about to cross the line and disappear, Samoa Joe shows up.
Yes, Samoa Joe, the man who's been out of work for a month and a half, has re-signed with WWE.
Yes, we did a show a couple of weeks ago regarding the yes, the reaches that WWE often make after WrestleMania. Samoa Joe's name was on there, surprisingly, even if we want to keep him as a in-ring competitor, he's got other skills he's strong, aka commentary. So Samoa Joe comes down, looks at Karrion Kross with a shut up look,
Yes.
and so he goes, Mr. Legal, I believe you wanted to speak with me.
Regal basically offers Samoa Joe the NXT General Manager spot, which Joe declines.
Yes, and I quote, sorry, Cole.
No.
Absolutely not. And then he goes on to explain his reasons that he knows the general manager role is taking its toll on William Regal. But over the past 7 years, William Regal has grown NXT from developmental territory into on full sail to a worldwide phenomenon and brought the best superstars, including Samoa Joe, to NXT. And says that whilst he knew he made his life whilst he was in NXT, he also showed Regal respect, and Samoa Joe would be willing to make sure that everyone showed William Regal the same respect.
So basically, Samoa Joe has now become William Regal's enforcer.
Yes, because William Regal said that Samoa Joe, at the moment, not allowed to wrestle, not allowed to lay a hand on anyone unless provoked, which he said after smirk came from Karrion Kross.
And when there was another brawl breaking out between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole did the stupidest thing in his life and put his hands on Samoa Joe.
Yes, so it would then have Joe put Cole in the color cleaner class, and during this period as well, another non-sanctioned match was made between the two for NXT Great American Bash.
We may do a show for that, but we don't know just yet. Let's go through the match card one more time.
In the opening match, the team of the NXT North American Champion Bronson Reed and the NXT Tag Team Champions MSK defeated Legado del Fantasma to retain their respective championships in a winner-take-all six-man tag team match.
Xia Li defeated Mercedes Martinez in a one-on-one match.
LA Knight defeated Cameron Grimes in a ladder match to win the $1 Million Championship.
Raquel Gonzalez retained her NXT Women's Championship against Ember Moon.
And Karrion Kross defeated Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, and Pete Dunne by technical submission to retain the NXT Championship.
And that does it for our NXT Takeover in your house reactions / post show.
We will be back with you Saturday when we return to the Thunderdome. Yay.
Yay.
When the main roster brings us Hell in a Cell.
So until then,
Well,
he's been.
before we go as well,
Yes.
we would like to offer our congratulations to former WWE announcer and commentator Renee Young and WWE superstar Dean Ambrose on the birth of their first child.
Always known as Nora in her child.
Let's just hope she doesn't grow up to be a lunatic.
So until then, he's been
Lisa Locke Jones, and he's been
John Randy Smith, and we will see you on Saturday for Hell in a Cell.